Shalom and welcome to Simchat Yisrael. One of the challenges in the Messianic Jewish community is how to engage with Jewish traditions and prayer while expressing our faith in Yeshua. Messianic Judaism offers a unique form of worship that is at once fully Jewish, but also fully Yeshua-centered. One of the ways that we do this is through our Messianic Siddur. In these books, you'll find many traditional Jewish prayers, but also additions unique to our community that uplift Yeshua and give him a place within the prayers of our people. You might think that the inclusion of Yeshua into the Siddur is exclusive to the Messianic community, but on Rosh Hashanah, for centuries, Jews around the world have prayed from a high holiday Siddur that clearly names Yeshua as the Messiah. Today, we're going to reveal a secret name, spoken of in hushed tones by bewildered rabbis in the back of the shul. A name that has gotten more than one curious student run out of the yeshiva when they ask too many questions about it. A name that is taboo amongst the Jewish people, but is boldly written in one of the most respected Orthodox prayer books in Judaism. Let's look at the name Yeshua. Before we begin, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel down below. The special holiday prayer book is called a moxzor. There are many different versions and printings of these prayer books. One of them is called the Moxor Rabbah, currently being printed by the Hebrew Publishing Company. This moxor has been in publication for centuries, and it contains beautiful prayers that have been passed down by our people through the ages. In the final pages of this book, and in many other moxorim, you will find a prayer called Sar HaPanim, or Prince of the Face. The prayer references something called Tashrat, which is an acronym for the names of the different sounds of the shofar. This is the prayer that is said during the blowing of the shofar, and it is a prayer for intercession. The blasts of the shofar are the cries of our hearts, and this prayer is asking an intercessor to bring our cries before God so they can be accepted. One of the intercessors mentioned in the prayer is the prophet Elijah, and the other is someone who the Soloveitchik machzor identifies as the Kohen Gadol, the high priest. The prayer asks that this high priest ascend to heaven and bring these prayers to God as atonement for our sins. Now that I set the stage for you, let's find out this priest's name. The prayer goes as follows. May it be your will before you that the sounding of the tashrat that we blow be woven into the curtain by the hand of the minister Tartiel, like the name that was received by the hand of Eliyahu, his memory be for a blessing, and Yeshua, the Prince of the Face, and the Prince Metatron. And may you be filled with mercy for us. Blessed are you, Master of Mercies. All right, that was a bit strange, but you all caught that name, right? Yeshua Sar HaPanim. Who is Yeshua, Prince of the Face? Could he possibly be Yeshua of Nazareth? I think if we break down the rest of this prayer, we'll find out that he is. Now, some moxors try to say that this Yeshua is the high priest Joshua, who is written about in Zechariah. But Yehoshua and Yeshua are spelled completely different. They're two different names. Let's look at the rest of this prayer and see what it's saying about Yeshua. First of all, this prayer appeals to Eliyahu, or Elijah. In Judaism, we call on Elijah's name for a very specific purpose. In the song Eliyahu HaNavi that is sung at the end of every Shabbat, we ask Elijah to come and bring with him the Messiah, the son of David. In Malachi 3:23, we read that God is going to send Elijah the prophet before the day of the Lord. His role is to be a herald for the coming of the Messiah. And so, in Judaism, Elijah is always mentioned in connection to the Messiah. And look who comes after Elijah in this prayer. Yeshua, the Prince of the Face. That's an interesting expression, but before I get into it, I want to address some of these other strange names that are in this prayer. This prayer also references the minister Tartiel and the Prince Metatron. Now, these probably sound like angelic names, but in actuality, they are titles, not proper names. Tartiel isn't a name found anywhere in Jewish folklore. It's actually derived from the word Tartiel, which roughly translates to God's other form in which he reveals himself. In Colossians 1:15, we read about Yeshua. The Son is the image of the invisible God, another form in which God reveals himself to us. And then there's the Prince Metatron. That name might sound familiar if you're into Kabbalah, or if you saw the movie Dogma. But the angel Metatron is actually from Islamic origins, not Judaic. In this context, the name Metatron comes from the Greek Metatronon, and it means the one who sits on the throne. In Ephesians 1:20, we read about Yeshua, this power he exercised in Messiah when he raised him from the dead and seated him at his right hand in heaven. Finally, we have the title Sar HaPanim, the Prince of the Face. This is a reference to Isaiah 63:9. In all their affliction, he was afflicted, and the angel of his face, the Sar Umalak HaPanav, saved them. In his love and in his pity, he redeemed them and he bore them and carried them all the days of old. If that doesn't sound like what Yeshua has done for us, I don't know what does. Prince of the Face is a fitting title for our Messiah. So now that we've broken this down, I think we can reread this prayer and paraphrase it a bit. May it be your will, O Lord, that you accept the cry of our hearts from the hand of Elijah, who prepares the way of Messiah, and from Yeshua the Redeemer, the image of God, and the one who sits on heaven's throne. I don't think there could be any doubt that this great high priest who has ascended into heaven to atone for our sins, and our Messiah Yeshua are one and the same. Unfortunately, if you were to go to a Jewish bookstore today and look at a contemporary Rosh Hashanah machzor, you would very likely find the name Yeshua is gone from the prayer. In recent decades, modern publishers have quietly omitted the word, but for tens of generations, faithful Jews called on the name Yeshua to be their salvation. While all of Israel may not accept him, throughout the centuries there have always been those among the Jewish people who know that there is power in the name Yeshua. L'shana Tovah, and may you be inscribed in the book of life. Shalom and thanks for watching. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe. And don't forget to visit simchatyisrael.org to learn more.